live yet? There we go. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's happening, mofos?
I know exactly what's happening. Everybody's at home right now watching Bladeshow haul videos, seeing what their favorite YouTubers picked up. So,
real quick, in that regards, I was starting to scroll through YouTube and just seeing some quick videos. SMKW on their day 2 video, TC talked about the Gideon.
Oh, yeah.
They showed a couple of different variants.
That's awesome, man.
Mr. Ellis.
What's up, Ryan?
Man, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Still
I can see it on your face too. You're tired as fuck,
bro. Bro, the adrenaline has left, and it took all the energy with it.
Ryan was a noob this year.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was a wild ride for sure. What's up, Marco?
The most dangerous man at Bladeshow is a fresh to the knife community noob with a pocket full of cash.
Yep.
We'll get deeper into that. I think we should talk about what we got, and I think Ryan should go last. So yeah.
Oh.
I I'd have been home yesterday if I had a choice, to be honest with you. I had so much fun, but when Ryan's like, man, I'm ready to go, I was like, dude, we can't get to the truck fast. No drama, nothing like that. We were just so tired, man.
Yeah, it gets to be a point to where you're like, this is a lot of fun, but I'm effing over it.
It's like Six Flags. You know, by the time the sun goes down, you're like, shit, dude.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the show's long, and then you have the couple of after events also. Right. So it keeps going even more, you know. So, not complaining, but that's just what you're going to experience. It's a full day thing, man.
Yeah.
Shane, Kathleen had a question for you.
I see it, and no, I did not. I wanted to talk about that too. I knew I was a very small fish in a very large aquarium at Bladeshow.
What's up, hey man?
And when I got there, the reality kind of set in, and I really only had 1 or 2 knives I was even comfortable showing. And it was mostly because first impressions are everything. Some of the knives were fine. The sheaths, which is the first impression, were not. And I just chose. I would rather. Yeah,
mine's pretty good.
Mine's not, but
and Stevie knew that.
But once you take it out,
yeah,
that's so nice. I love that. That was one of my favorite ones, Stevie.
Yeah. I decided I would rather not sell anything as to leave that impression in everybody's mind, and I think it was the right decision.
Yeah.
It's the decision I know that Kyle would have made. So that's what I did.
Attaboy.
I got my knife in the hands of some of the most experienced and well-known makers, custom makers in the world.
Yep.
And I got my ego, even through constructive criticism, got my ego to the point my head would barely fit in the building. But there was a lot of, there was just a lot of truths that deep down I knew, that I knew already. So,
but not to interrupt you, but you also have to give yourself credit. Not a single one of them said that you should be where you are in your skill. Every one of them agreed that you were a lot further along than just 11 or 12 months.
I was called a liar twice. Flat out called a liar. No, you didn't. I was like, man, it's the truth. But I'm going to touch on this before y'all get started on it. 2025, Bladeshow, is the fucking year of Mangana Steel,
dude.
If you hung out anywhere near Sharice's table, now keep in mind, he's not a microtech with his multi-$1,000 booth and big boobs bouncing around everywhere. He was actually kind of...
The boobs were there.
His layer, or his table, it just kind of blended into everything else. And then when you see every time you go by there, there's people standing in line. Man, yeah, it melted my heart to see how much hype there not pre-existing hype, just people walking by, seeing it, stopping, checking it out, hearing how much it cost. What's up, Scooter?
Scooter.
Hey,
Scooter.
come in and borrow tools.
There you go.
Got that P6 again.
Yeah.
Sharif
Shane when it comes to that.
Sharif killed it, man. I'm beyond proud of him. I took a couple of pictures I've got to send of him of just the crowds that were around his booth and stuff like that. And it was I felt kind of bad for him for a little while. He didn't even have time to go to the bathroom during the day and stuff, because he was so one-on-one with everybody that came by there, and he really worked his tail off.
There's stories about that we can't tell. There's stories to tell,
right.
So we'll leave them alone. But man, it was an emotional weekend. It really was. There's another story I can tell and will that we'll get to, but
yeah, seeing the feedback that I didn't get to experience everything that Shane did with the feedback. I did walk him over to Casey Lynch though, and made it a point. Shane didn't know I was going to do it, but I made it a point to show Casey Lynch Shane's knife, and that was cool to see Casey, give him good feedback. So seeing Shane with the feedback that he got, Sharif's feedback, Scott Stills selling out in 30 minutes, Donnie Bless selling all but his lefty. The homies did really good at a Bladeshow this year, and it's seriously fucking awesome to see.
I had heard from people at the show, and not from Shane, about how well Sharif was doing, and I sent him a message saying, "Hey, dude, congrats, I'm proud of you." And I know he's been absolutely just swamped and working his ass off. So, and everything he gets there and coming forward is well deserved.
Yeah.
I got to include our homie Dead Sober Designs, aka Lungbone. I'm pretty sure all the Gideons that they brought sold out. I know Heyman was able to pick one up last minute today. But then again, scrolling through Smoky Mountain Knife Works, seeing TC talk to Tenable about these. So the Gideon had a good showing. Everybody loved this design as well. So it really was cool to see. I mean, how many of us we know that were represented there,
Right. Yeah, if so, Kathleen, that's super cool. I want to cover one embarrassing topic before we go any further. Most of you know that I have a shut up, Ryan.
I've been waiting on this all day.
I have a dental partial. I'm going to lose all my teeth. Since my heart surgery, I was already told that I have a partial. So on the way home, we stop at Jack Brown's, my favorite burger joint in the world, and I can't eat with that partial in. So I took it out and rolled it up in a napkin so nobody had to look at it. I tell the whole story. Long story short, I left the napkin on the table. It's now in the trash can at Jack Brown's in Huntsville. So you can stop zooming in to see if you're seeing a gap in my front teeth. You absolutely are. It is embarrassing, but it is what it is. So
why didn't you send Javon up there to go pick it up?
Javon did. He drove back over there. I called him. He drove over there to look for it. Hats off to Javon, man. Javon's a great friend.
He didn't even hesitate.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, I'll go right now." But it was long gone, buried beneath a pile of half-eaten hamburgers and cheese fries.
And also I want to say real quick, Heyman wins the award for coolest dude to pal around at Bladeshow with.
He's funny.
It's awesome that he's made it out 2 years in a row. Yeah. Heyman he's so fun to walk around with, and he was a hurting unit being there. But just want to give an extra special shout out to Heyman.
Absolutely, I enjoyed getting to know him a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
If you ever want to know, if you're ever like, I'm gonna go to Bladeshow next year, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to act around people that I don't know in real life, I see on the internet. Just get with Heyman. Heyman will show you absolutely how to make people fall in love with your personality, and how not to be intrusive, and how to make people love you. Heyman's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Super supportive. The one knife that I felt like I deserved to show at Bladeshow, other than the one I kept for myself, Heyman bought. So hats off to Heyman. He was my Bladeshow sale. I did. Bob DeMarco picked his knife up, and I was prepaid on an order for a knife, which I don't want to do anymore. But because of who it was, and he refused to take no for an answer, I did it. So I had a good Bladeshow, guys. There was no stress about coming home without enough money or any of that stuff. So it all worked out, man. It worked. It just worked out for everybody. That's what was so awesome about it. Was like the progression from last year and how much things changed. There were some things that I know didn't bother Stevie at all, but there were some things that changed this year about Bladeshow. Like, the community has already kind of started drifting into cliques, we'll call it. But it's always been, this nuclear knife community that at Bladeshow really doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So you find your people, you hang with your people, because some people are at Bladeshow at this point unapproachable. Like, you can't get within 10 feet of them, and I'm not upset about it. It's really more embarrassing to watch than anything. So
Javon put it best. The Kaiser dinner, although the Kaiser dinner was actually fun, it was also pretty cringy, man.
Yeah, very.
I'll just say it. There was a moment where they're like, if you're a knife reviewer on YouTube, everybody stand up, raise your hand, and give yourself a round of applause.
How many of us did that?
And, me said that.
Yeah.
And some of the people, everyone that's typically there was there. And I mean, look, it's no, Maddie, it's not cringy, but it is a little cringy just to, see them trying to look for the special.
Like special.
Stuff.
And I look around, and everybody I know and love does not have their hand up.
Right.
At least we didn't fake it.
So Kaiser was actually cool and gave out some pretty cool drop bears out of everyone. And they did this thing where they wanted everyone to try to squeeze into the picture. Shane didn't bother getting up. But everyone's holding up their knife, and he took the picture. And I was like, hold on. Shane Gable's blinked. Got to take it over again.
My daughter's got to a point now where she looks forward to the limited edition Kaiser knife every year. So she was waiting on it when I got home. She absolutely loves it. And guys, I have a ball at the Kaiser dinner because, I've picked at some of these people in the past, and it's cool that we can get together. And
we can joke around, but it is really cool of Kaiser to do that, man.
There's a couple of guys that would not even make eye contact with me. I'll let y'all guess who they were. But other than that, it was a good time.
It's funny though. When you get to this certain point, as you've seen the progress of the last few years, that people trying to remember where they came from.
Yeah.
And that's why you have separations.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, mostly everybody's pretty cool. And you know what? Some of the bigger folks there are really cool. Melissa Backwoods was at the Kaiser dinner. She was cool as hell to everyone. Wasn't acting like, any sort of a celebrity at all. Ed Harrison fell in love with her.
Of course.
Scooter went up and talked to her at the very end. It was hilarious.
Scooter. That's another one I enjoyed getting to know.
I did too. Scooter's not the feeble old man y'all think that I thought he was. Not. Scooter's a very spry, very fun to be around dude, man.
Yeah, man, there was a minute when we were settling up the checks, and Ed hit the 22%. He's like, I gave you all the money I could. It wasn't very much, but I gave you all the money I could. And she's like, you could have put a custom tip in. And Scooter's like, yeah, look at me, Ed. I gave her a 30% tip. And Ed's like, I would have done it, and he's like, nope, you're a cheap tipper, Ed.
Dude, did you see that gimlet I bought in the martini glass?
Yeah,
It was like 3 sips. I couldn't see the screen really when she handed it to me. So I just hit 20% tip, and then it popped up that my tip was $4.85. And I started doing the math in my head, and she's like, because when she asked if I wanted another, I was like, no, thank you. So those sips were approximately $8 a sip. Yeah, it was crazy.
No, Mimo, no cicadas, no frogs, but not everyone got affected, but we got a wicked rainstorm and thunderstorm that moved in, and it wreaked havoc right over our house. And we lost power yesterday at like 2:00 in the afternoon until like midnight. So that sucked.
That's why the One Suck Challenge didn't happen. We didn't have anywhere to do it.
Right.
It all kind of fell apart.
And we'll figure something out, and it's not going to be as cool. For full disclosure, it's not going to be as cool as we conceptualized. We realized it was not as easy to pull off as we thought it might be.
It's just too many people to coordinate because everybody's with somebody. That's why my pre-Bladeshow thing, I was like, man, don't get all built up on getting this large group together and going to eat. It's hard, man.
Right.
Because everybody has different needs and wants, and Bugsy's in the chat. I was looking forward to Bugsy picking his knife up, and then when we get there, I didn't want Bugsy to pick his knife up. And I mean, these knives aren't scrap by any means. There's just things I need to do, because when he gets it, I want it to be what I expected it to be and what he expected it to be. So, hats off to Bugsy. But there were some there were some interesting moments, no doubt. So that some of you know nothing about, but Super Still Steve and I can't remember the guy's name now. The dude
Jacob Peterson.
Jacob walked up to Super Still Steve and tried to shake his hand, and then you could hear him all the way across the lobby, and the cops surrounded them. It was a pretty tense moment. But to watch that dude, Jacob, shake like a leaf on a tree and practically beg to give him an apology, it was funny. But there's some great moments, man.
What's up, Forrest?
Space Ghost. No, you don't. You see people chilling in the line before, when you're there to pick up your tickets the day before. I don't know if they allow people to grill, but at one point, Pina did have a food truck brought in, and Pina was bringing stuff to people in the line that were camped out Thursday night. Casey Lynch also, the Lynch Northwest crew went to Costco and bought like a bunch of Gatorade and chips and stuff. So it was cool to see the makers out there actually.
That's awesome.
Supporting the super nerds that were in line for shit.
Yeah, Casey Lynch. You literally have to meet Casey Lynch to experience his energy and his vibe.
He's probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Like genuinely nice. Like he's not faking it.
Right.
He's interested in what you got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got good news from him, so I got a set of scales to order in a couple of months. So
yeah,
I think it looks like they're ramping up and broadening their horizons on Spyderco replacement scales. And
Mannix 2s.
Negative.
No,
yes, they said he officially confirmed Mannix 2 scales are coming soon. That's all he said.
As well as Sage 5 lightweight replacement scales. So I'll have to rock these mid to late summer.
Yeah, he said like mid-late summer for those. Yeah, Jeffrey, I saw that. That was really cool. Their promotional email that they sent out today, it had like the Blade Show things, had the group picture that I took with them in it. Yeah, that was cool.
I was really looking forward to meeting some of the guys from TS Prof, and unfortunately, some visa issues happened.
Yeah.
So didn't get to do that, but yeah. But I think I got to hit everything I wanted to hit, and like I was really more looking forward this year to just staying 2 steps behind Ryan and watching how that unfolded. So we literally, when the doors opened, we went to the ABW booth. There's a story there. I'll get to it in a moment. And then we literally had to leave that room, go all the way around the building into the small room. We got to Edgy Blade Works at 9:30, and he's standing there with an empty table.
Yep.
Gone. Oh,
we should have went there first.
Except for his auction.
Yeah,
his auction knife, which
what that goes for?
I think it went for $2,600.
Yeah.
See,
it was already at $1,500 when we were there at like 9:30.
It ended up going for $2,600, making it officially the most expensive knife Scott has ever sold.
That's not bad. For me, what he does comparable to the other auctions they do at the shows. Yeah. I mean, that's very, very reasonable.
The only bummer to that was that more people couldn't check out his work.
Right.
It was a good position for him to be in. But then, all the other people coming through didn't get to see his shit. But that was unplanned too. Like he had no clue.
It's almost
so
for future, it almost be like, okay, market at whatever, say market at $1,600 and give them $100 discount if they leave it on the table as sold and come back and get it the second day, so people can see what he's got.
Right.
I mean,
actually, he did do that with a couple. Actually,
if they're cool enough to do that, you know what I mean? Like,
the point was we were there to buy one.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, like that would
Ryan
be a
was there to buy one. There was nothing to be bought.
He kept Turban Boobsman actually grabbed one of the most awesome grunts that I've seen Edgy Blade Works do. And Urban let him keep that on the table the entire time.
Yeah, I was by myself when this happened, but later in the day, it was still pretty much in the heat of the show. I had to go take a break and sit down, and I saw Scott walking through the lobby. And Scott Stills is one of the most humble, sweetest human beings you'll ever meet. But you could see just a little bit, like his head was a little high. He had a little bit of strut to his walk, and it warmed my heart to see. Like, he didn't even have to be at his table because he didn't even go. But watching him walk through there with a little bit, just a tad deserved bit of cocky was awesome, man.
I did ask him. I was like, "Has it sunk in at all?" And he's like, "Yeah, a little bit, man." I was like, "It feels good," and he's like, "Yeah, it feels really fucking awesome, man." I was like, "Enjoy it, brother. Absolutely enjoy it."
Yeah, it was a good time, man. And I don't know, the Blade Show experience is the same for everybody, but all the people that we know and love and look up to had a great show, and it was just you didn't know who to be happy for at some point.
Right.
Everybody's rocking it. Like I said, I was told things that I wouldn't have traded selling every knife I had in my bag for. You know what I mean? Like I had people offer me opportunities that,
Dude, there's Paul Might. Paul, I've already let him know, and I'll connect with you more. But I did actually pick up a second Dixon, and this is just screaming for a Paul wash to match the blacked out blade and hardware. So this will be going to Paul very shortly.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
Are we going to discuss how dirty Shane did Ryan on the picture height?
Yeah,
that was not planned. He looks like he's 4
Shane and he's holding his phone up like this to take a picture of that day.
Well, you don't understand. When I was looking through my phone, it wasn't picking the camera up. That Koenig had so much bling to it that the light just wasn't right. So I kept moving it until it came into focus, and it made Ryan look like he's 4 feet tall. Ryan's every bit as big as I am, guys. So that's not true.
So
Funny.
the lighting inside Bladeshow is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
It's the I mean, you can see the knives and everything, but for it to translate onto camera, everything ends up looking fucking blown out, and it just there's just something the way that everybody says that when it comes to taking pictures inside of Bladeshow, it just they never quite turn out right anyway.
I bet Ryan's taller on his knees than Javon.
I think Ryan splits the difference between Dylan Mallory and Javon.
What?
I think Ryan came in at a solid 5'3". Dylan Mallory's what, 4'7". Javon's about 5'6". So I think Ryan's like.
I
Right
think you gave
not
Javon a
5'6".
couple of inches there. He was not 5'6".
Javon is not 5'6". You're being very gracious. I remember waking up and seeing Javon over there in his bed, curled up on the sheets. I was like, man, it reminded me of when my children were small, just seeing that little lump under the blanket.
You saw a little lump under that blanket, didn't you, buddy?
Counter normally.
I got a message from Shane at like 2 a.m. It says, Javon's watching Steel Toe and not explaining it to me. I'm too high to even care. And then 5 minutes later, he passed out and I can't find the remote.
You don't know the third part.
No, so then I get the same text, Stevie, right? And then the last text I get is oh, I'm sorry, I spelled hi wrong. He texted me back to tell me his autocorrect wasn't working.
Yeah.
Listen, so like an hour later, what y'all don't know is I remember I even stopped because I realized what was happening. I'm in Javon's bed, in my underwear, on my hands and knees, like patting down the bed, trying to find the remote because I can't handle any more Steel Toe. And I can't turn the volume down. And luckily, I kept thinking, it's got to be under him. I'm going to have to put my hand under him eventually. And I'm high. But finally, I found it under the fold of a blanket and changed the channel and passed out immediately. But, we laughed, man. We had a good. It was not the same as getting high with Stevie and Nuz. Like, it was not life-altering. And it was just the right high. We had a good time, man.
Yeah. It was fun. Shane and Javon and Ryan came over Thursday night, and we all just sit around shooting the shit for. Yeah, I mean, shit. You guys left around like almost 1 o'clock in the morning, man.
It was after
Yeah.
long.
It felt like we had been there 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to look down at my phone, bro. We gotta go. Everybody gotta get some sleep.
Right.
I knew Shane was gone when he texted and said, I'm going to go spank it and tuck Javon in.
Yeah. And man, I will say it's rough coming out here from the West Coast because when it's midnight here, it's 9 o'clock for me, so I'm not ready to fall asleep. But then everybody wants to get up and get going around 8 o'clock, which is 5 o'clock for me.
Right.
So my time is all messed up. So I'm just perpetually tired here. Plus the nonstop. I mean, everyone wants to think about me and Javon. I won't bust them out too much, but there's someone that stays here with us that is low key the biggest smoker of the bunch. So, and I've been with him now for 3 Blade shows in a row, and even though Nuz isn't here, it's still to the guild.
There was a difference in him too, though. Like I could have a conversation with him this year.
Yeah.
Every other year, I can't even tell if he's conscious. But yeah,
It wasn't competition this year.
What's that?
So it wasn't competition this year.
No.
Everything was more legible. I'll just put it that way. Yeah.
Oh.
Ryan, do you want to tell? First of all, let me cover this. Javon and I got to find out how the other half live. When we pulled up at the pit in Valet Park, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And the first Uber we called, this guy shows up in a Prius. I literally at one point my butt was touching the dash as I'm trying to corkscrew myself into this car. From that point forward, Ryan's like, "It's Suburbans from here on out." No, Ryan, do you want to tell the Suburban story? Oh, Ryan's got a picture.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. That's Shane's head on the ceiling of the car in this thing.
You want to tell the limo ride story?
Which one? We haven't.
Well, first of all, y'all, keep in mind, Javon was on mushrooms all weekend. So he was fucking
Allegedly.
I mean, like mushrooms on his pizza.
Yes.
So he was an absolute pleasure to be around.
Absolutely.
Every time we get in a limousine, Javon, before the doors even shut, Javon starts a conversation with the driver. But in the 10-minute trip, we know their whole life story because he just barrages them with questions.
Do you like to
Ryan,
drink
I'll let you tell the best one, though.
So every driver that we got was from a different country altogether. But the greatest one was the guy, it started out kind of sad. He talked, I had a son, he passed away, blah, blah, blah. We're from Cuba, and John just bust out, gosh, y'all have great cocaine. I just love y'all's cocaine. I mean, it's the best cocaine in the world.
Colombia. But
Colombia.
The excitement and the timing, he was just like, man, I love y'all's cocaine.
It's just the best cocaine in the world. And like, it completely changed from a doom and gloom story. I mean, even the driver lit up and was like, yeah, we do.
and then we realized how, I don't want to say racist we are, because we're not, but how out of touch we are with our last driver, because she didn't understand Bladeshow. And we were talking about prices, and she was just blown away that knives could cost that much. This is a nice black lady. So my comparison it's kind of like Jordan's. It's $100 shoe, but some of them sell for $5,000.
Her demeanor went from happy to talk to us. She didn't say another word the rest of the time.
Fucking shit,
Shane,
Shane, really?
It's kind of like the price of Jordans. They're $80 shoes, but people pay like $200 for them. I'm like,
With absolutely no disrespect. It was the first thing that came to mind that sells for way more than it's actually worth. So that's what I said. Yeah, and Ryan's just sitting over shaking his head. That was funny.
My funny Javon moment was when we were leaving the Battery after the Kaiser dinner. Javon was feeling it good, and y'all were gonna walk over to the pit, and those couple of cop cars come driving by with the blue flashing light, and Javon's like, "What the hell, man?" And then John just turned around. In like the scroll moment, he's like, "That's the smallest." He's like, "Look at how fucking small that dog is. That's the smallest horse I've ever seen." And he's like, like
completely normal size Winnie dog, y'all. Nothing tiny about it. And Javon was flipping out.
He's like, "That's the smallest horse I've ever seen, man."
Yeah.
What about the kid at the gas station? He was wanting to go in and beat the crap out of because he squished his donut.
Yeah, they squished his Mexican snack cake.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That kid did have a horrible attitude. He crushed my donuts too, but I didn't say anything. Yeah.
You guys should have get one of those like those kid backpack leash things for John.
Yeah. God, that would have been so great.
Little
No,
monkey
he could run off.
dragging around with you.
But I mean,
I challenge you to go to Bladeshow when you really want to challenge. Go to Bladeshow and try to keep track of Javon the entire time.
You're not going to.
He's under tables. He's up on the light fixtures. Everywhere, dude.
What really makes Bladeshow so freaking enjoyable, though, is we have this camaraderie all throughout the year already.
Yeah.
So when we see each other in person, you just pick it right back up, and it's basically your own like personal fucking live stream that you're just doing with the homies, right? Yeah. It's and the people that you see them on the lives throughout the year, so there's never the awkward moments. You just see someone and you instantly start freaking talking, and it's just shenanigans freaking nonstop, man. So
hats off, by the way, to War Room EDC.
Oh yeah.
Nailed it. He came up, immediately told me who he was. Y'all have no idea how awkward it is for a guy to come up and start talking to you like he's known you your whole life, and you ain't got a clue because we don't know what half y'all look like. But Wardroom handled it right. I think he was the only one.
Well, Alan Grey Wolf just went ahead and wore a shirt that had his name, Alan, and then Grey Wolf on the back, but forgot that. And so people like, "What's your name?" And he'd be like, "Oh, I'm in the chats." And like, Alan, stop giving him I was like, just tell him your name. And then I just started pointing on Alan Charles. He's Alan.
I like getting to know him too.
Alan's cool, dude. And
let's talk about the Bladeshow purchase that made the least amount of sense.
Oh Jesus!
It's really cool when you can walk around there and absolutely fall in love with something, and that happened to me. It makes no sense. I didn't need it.
Sorry.
I handled it, and it's not as funny as y'all are making it. But
no, I'm laughing.
I love, and I too, in the back of my mind, was thinking, Shane, you could just make that, but I can't make it like this, guys. This is by far. It's not my favorite Bladeshow knife. We'll get to that, but this was my first and my favorite purchase. I don't even know what it's called, but this Freeman fixed blade, I'm still giddy up. I went back to his booth 4 times after I bought it to thank him and tell him how excited I am about it. But this thing is so bad.
The pictures ain't doing it justice. That thing is burly, gnarly, beefy, weighs 5 freaking pounds.
Yeah. And then by 4 hours later, all I could think about was getting to the room and getting this off my belt because it was literally boring a hole into my fat roll. So it's not ergonomic. It's not fun to carry. God, this thing it raises my testosterone 10 points, man.
Yeah.
Paul, that's wrong Freeman. That's Freeman USA. That's not David Freeman.
Right.
Yeah, this is Freeman Outdoors.
Yeah,
the people that made that really cool button lock that we'll get to shortly.
Yeah, Shane sent me a picture of that, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Who's that for? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it just it made my Bladeshow, man. I love it.
He lit up when he saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that? What's that, Paul? Oh, I'll just go fuck myself then. What are we talking about? Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I did end up picking up another gnarly fixed blade while I was there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that company that's not just 15 minutes down the road, but 5 minutes down the road that I hadn't had a chance to connect with since Bladeshow West. Dark Pine was there.
Yeah, cool.
And their Alpine fixed blade. This is in 3D. Yeah. It's just G10 scales, but these are made on the other side of where the honey bucket is. So they're the other side of the airport, and they're doing all their own milling, all their machine shop. And I got to look at the card. They're doing 3V, doing all their own heat treating, all their own coating and everything. So I was stoked to get that.
That's awesome. Are you going to do a tour?
I am. We finally. I walked up and he was like, "Stevie, you mother effer, you left me on red." I'm like, "You left me on red." We haven't had a chance to connect, but we finally actually texted each other our numbers, so we're dialed in at this point.
Awesome.
Good deal. I don't remember you showing me that. I don't think I saw it. That's badass looking though.
Heck yeah.
Ryan, do you want to dip into? Do you want to start with your first or 8th, or where you want to start?
The first one, my first purchase was, this completes my Chris Reeve collection. So now I've got one of each. Well, except for that Mandy one, that slip joint. I sold it, so I'm gonna have to get another one of those. But so I got the Zon.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was pumped about that. As soon as we got there, they were really close to the entrance, so it very quickly became the first stop right before ABW. So, and it's good we stopped there when we did, because about an hour later I went back by there and these were all gone. So
yeah,
it went.
Show them the box.
Oh yeah. Oh, Tim Reeves signed it for me. Bladeshow 25. So, yeah, really cool. Got to meet him. He was really nice. And, man, it was just a really good experience. Magna
So we went from there to ABW. Did you pick up anything at ABW?
I did. Yes. Of course, it was a Slippy. Everybody knows the Slippy.
Yeah.
Mine is just the boring old plain one that's slicey, but Shane being a special creature that he is.
Hang on, I gotta go get it.
Oh my
You
God.
don't have it on you all the time?
My wife and daughter were looking at it.
Lord of mercy.
Jeez.
Kyle, have you seen it yet?
No. I was supposed to get a video, but
it wouldn't send to you. Well,
I'm just kidding you, dude.
We'll have to exchange numbers so I can get it to you.
Now there's a story here, guys.
That's done.
So we get there, and I get presented with this. Anodized ABW slip joint and thought it was super cool. And then I found out that I had been conspired against. I don't know who all was involved in this, so I don't want to blow it, but I'll just mention the people I know. Several people knew this was going to happen, but I think Ryan headed this up. Kyle went above and beyond to contact my wife. And you're not going to be able to see it because my camera sucks, but it is laser engraved on the spine. You can see the dark spot. It says "To Cam" from Paw Paw. And I fought back crying at the ABW booth. Fought it hard and succeeded. And about an hour later, my daughter called and I got to tell her about it. And as soon as I said it's lasered, I literally, out in the lobby in front of God and everybody, just squalled, man. This meant so much to me that so many people were involved in it and made it happen. And, because this definitely was one I wanted to pick up, but I didn't know that it was there waiting on me. And, I know, like I said, I know Ryan was involved. I know Kyle was involved. I know Stevie knew about it. And I don't know who else did, but I really appreciate all you guys, man. This definitely made my Blade Show. It was awesome, man. So
that's just, man, we all wanted to do something. You're always the first to step up when somebody needs something. So it's just to say thanks. Well, keep being you, man.
And Shay, I don't want to know if you want me to explain the inscription of what it means.
Sure.
I mean, just from what people know, like.
Absolutely.
No, so Cam is his grandson, who's very, I wouldn't say obsessed, but very enthralled with Shane, and likes to spend time with him. And they go out and have fun and stuff, and has started taking interest in knives a little bit. And Shane wants to, leave some things for him. So that was a good opportunity to have something directed for Cam for the future.
Yeah, that is certainly a forever knife for sure.
Yeah, you can't get rid of that one, Shane.
Regardless of the charity, that one's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to pass that down. But it was really, really sweet of y'all, man.
Yeah. Well, that's from everybody. That's from all the homies. So that's from everybody.
Knew about it and kept it a secret, and I was really impressed that my wife didn't I had no clue. I had no clue it was coming. So really cool.
Yes, Mimo. That is heirloomy.
Very heirloomy, Mimo. So Ryan and I both got our ABW slippies, and then we went where?
That was when we went over to Edgy.
Yeah.
I found out our dreams have been crushed.
Yeah.
And where did we go from there? Lord of mercy.
Because the rest of them kind of trickled through.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that was it for day one. because all the other people.
No,
No, you got the Freeman on day one.
I got the Freeman on day one.
Yeah.
So
he got 2 sales off that trip.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the button?
Yeah.
Does that what blade steel is that one in?
Magna Cut. Well, I think no. Hang on, I can't remember.
Hey, where's that made?
I can't remember what steel this is.
I think they put it on like the very bottom of the blade somewhere.
Like the edge here.
Edge, yeah, it's on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get really close to see it. Where's it made? Does it say?
It's got an eagle on it.
Yeah. Probably be better on the edge.
I think so badass, dude.
Those are cool as shit.
Hey, but the thing is
It's really cool that the fixed blade. I don't know if you guys could see.
I don't know if y'all can hear it.
It has the scallops as well.
Yeah.
Like these. That's not just for looks. You can feel the scallops in the blade just like his butt mount.
And here's the thing: if you ever lose the edge on these things and it won't cut or something like that, you just beat something in half with it. Like it's so heavy and just big. But once I started messing with it, that's what she said. But once I started messing with it, I had to have it. I didn't even know who they were. It's just when I picked it up and I was like, all right, no, this is coming home with me.
I've spent 3 years trying to buy that knife. And every time I've had the money, they just don't exist. So
Yeah.
It was cool that he discovered it and got to purchase it that same day.
Yeah.
And
They're very nice people, man. They're really cool.
Yeah, really cool people.
Yes, I am, Maddie. Tomorrow night. And beat it off.
If you can't.
And yes, Kathleen, we were spreading the word to everybody about Bluminati and Twisted Sis while we were here. That's been heavy, man. It's been hard at times to really talk about some of this stuff, knowing that Bluminati and Twisted Sis just got fucking effed, man. So yeah. But we will rally.
Stevie, what else you get?
Oh shit, Maddie, I forgot. I don't know. We'll figure it out, Maddie. I got my other Dixon. I got my couple of Gideons. I got my gorgeous Aurelia. I got the one cool thing that the first thing before the show even really started, I got my said Stevie Shaman.
That's probably one of the baddest Monaco's I've ever seen.
The new collab with Lynch will be out within the next couple of weeks. You guys will be able to get this limited run finish. So that's cool. And then I got a couple other things that I'm not ready to show off yet for some folks.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I didn't go too nuts. I think that's pretty much everything. I came in well under what I had budgeted, though. I'll tell you that. I sold a bunch of stuff leading up into this, and I had what I was able to do is I was like, man, I could go bananas on day 3, and I didn't. I just, I bought the couple of things I wanted to on day 1, and then just kept walking around aimlessly on days 2 and 3.
Brant, hang around because there's a part of this that you'll like here in a moment.
What's up, Brant?
So I forgot where we did get. After Edgy, we went and found McNeese. And that's when I picked up it just now dawned on me when I looked over there. And I had a hard time with this. It was between this and the green one. And I came this close to getting both.
Yeah, he was literally talking himself out of buying both. I too got a McNeese t-shirt.
The Big Dixon Energy.
The Big Dixon Energy t-shirt.
Hey, did you see the sticker that they included in the box? The Big Dixon Energy drink.
Yes.
That's a cool little sticker, man.
Yeah.
Did you guys get to talk to Jonathan much?
I talked to him for a good 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Are they
he's
going to
awesome.
be doing different patterns on the Dixon like they do the McNeese?
That's absolutely their plan.
Okay, because that Dixon with the swerve on it would be badass.
Yeah, they just wanted to try to get as many to the show as possible.
Sure.
And they did. Lord.
Yeah,
They have a lot of them.
everybody did a better job of bringing more knives, and
Yeah.
the people that sold out did a better job of having a day 2 inventory. Because after Ryan and I went by Koenig, sold out, but they let us know they'd have more knives tomorrow. We went to Strider, sold out, let us know that they would be more out tomorrow. So that kind of leads to day 2. We don't have early birds. We were probably in the door 30 minutes late, in all honesty. So we head straight to Koenig, and I told him, I was like, dude, let's just go look. It's probably not going to happen, but we'll go look. We get there, table full of Ariuses. So I'll let Ryan pick up from here. Guys, do yourselves a favor. Don't get out your calculators. Don't start adding this up in your head.
So I don't know that.
I know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm surprised both Shane and Javon both kept up with me getting over there, because I was talking very, very, very fast running, getting there. Oh, I wouldn't say running, but very fast walk.
And Heyman was here for this purchase too.
Do I?
Wasn't Heyman here for this purchase? Yeah, he was with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. So I knew I was going to get one of them. I just didn't know which one I was going to get. And I actually, to be honest with you, I didn't know 100% for sure that I was going to buy this. I was thinking about just messing around with it, making sure I like it, and then finding one on the secondary. But then I got to thinking, like, for one, I was getting it for cheaper than what I thought I was going to have to pay. And two, I wanted the experience of buying it from Koenig,
Right.
being my first one and everything. So I was like, you know what? YOLO, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I walked away with the sucker. So, and this was the first time I actually felt like almost, I guess, an adrenaline rush over a knife purchase. Was this one?
Yeah.
And it was really wild, which I
fun.
didn't realize it. I was going to feel it a couple more times on day 2.
Yeah.
But this was definitely a special one.
Huge Bladeshow letdown. Krista Koenig was not there. I was very sad about that.
Probably there's a reason.
She probably wasn't there because of me.
Probably like that Shane guy's coming.
Right.
We're closed.
Yeah.
So
make this live private afterwards, so that way Ryan's wife can't see all the purchases.
And guys, I'm not. All the rest of my purchases were kind of private, person to person, so I'll get those because Ryan still has a day to talk about.
do I now?
I said you still have a day to talk about, so keep going.
Oh,
We left straight from there and went where?
Yeah. So shortly after I got this is when Shane took the very flattering picture of me being 3 foot tall on the way to Strider's. And we get there and looked up, they had 4 more left. So I ended up getting a Strider. Back to back, like within 5 minutes of each other, literally. I got them both. So at this point, I'm like, man, I'm missing 2 knives off the list that I came for. And at this point, that was the second adrenaline dump that I got of the day. And
I don't even think he had ever heard the term Holy Trinity.
Right.
So I had to explain it to him. So I cost him some more money after that. Yeah.
Well, so I did go over to Hinder and start looking at Hinders. I mean, I knew what Hinder was and everything, but it wasn't something that I just absolutely had to have. And I picked up a couple, and I was like, you know what? I had such a high expectation of them that I think it was an unfair expectation. I was let down. Let's just put it that way. Now, granted, I only picked up 2, and I was like, I don't know. So I thought about it the rest of the day. I went back over there. I found a full tie that I liked, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to sleep on it because I'm not just absolutely in love with it. And anyway, we went out to eat that night. I think at the Kaiser dinner, and that's when Shane challenged me.
What's up, Brian?
He goes, yeah. He said, Ryan, you don't need to do that. He said, I ain't never seen anybody do that in like one day or one weekend or something. I was like, thanks a lot, Shane. Thanks. So, but I'm glad
nobody acquires the Holy Trinity in a 24-hour window.
I got lucky on those 2. I know I did. So, but anyway, so it was good that I didn't see this one on day 1. It's good that Shane said that because I came back on day 2 and I found one more full tie, but it was the Jurassic. And as soon as I picked it up, I knew like it felt completely different from the Eclipse. It fit my hand better. I feel like it's got a better action. And I just said, whatever, let's do it. So, but I may shock some of you. I don't know, but I'm going to be honest with you. I had a very, very big first blade show, but the most favorite knife that I got out of all of them is going to be the Aurelia. And Sharif said, he's like, no, there ain't no way, not with what you got. I'm like, Sharif, I'm dead serious. I wish y'all could have been there when Sharif told me I won this knife.
Yeah.
My hands went to shaking. It was nothing compared to any of this. My hands were shaking when I picked this knife up. So Iggy was there. She saw it. She was like, you look like a little kid.
Oh yeah. We have shout out to Iggy and her boy Joey. That was with them. They stayed here at the house. We pallet around with Iggy and Joey all week.
I would like to make a public apology.
I was going to say,
I may have at Blaze Pizza in front of everyone asked Joey's permission to become his stepdad, and he took it really well.
He took it really well, but also was like,
and also was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Hey, I also, real quick, I have to give a shout out to Richard Hawkins. He sent me a knife through Javon, and I just want to tell him thank you very much for that. I mean, this is a really cool knife. I like it. I love it to death, and appreciate you sending that to me, man.
Heck yeah.
I think that's your haul, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I had a.
I say that like that's all you got.
I had a couple others. I wanted a tall boy, so I went and saw Lefty and ended up not getting a tall boy. I got the Fireball.
You got the baller Fireball?
Yeah. So I ended up, I don't know, it just felt better in my hand.
You didn't even get to meet Stasa. I never saw Stasa all weekend.
I talked to Nick for I don't know, 5 minutes, probably, maybe even less. But I talked to Nick for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
His son goes to school by me, so that's how we've always had a little bit of a rapport back and forth. So every time I see Nick, Nick's a cool guy, and Nick's working like the entire time. Yeah. And Nick is still like, if he sees you, he'll stop what he's doing and actually like talk to you. Yeah. You know, so shout out to Stasa. He's a cool ass dude.
Yeah. So Richard's the one this is named after, right? Or
Stasa.
Yeah, Stasa.
It's actually named after his story. For those who don't know, many years ago, Nick worked at a chemical plant. There was an explosion. He was blown off of a 20-something foot roof, burned severely over most of his body. And the part of that story that people don't know, and he will say he doesn't even remember, is there is like security video footage of Nick with a broken back and his skin melted off of him, rescuing other workers, gets them in a truck, gets them off the premises because it was such a dangerous fire. They wouldn't allow the ambulances on the premises. They stopped them at the gate. So Nick, in his life-threatening condition was shuttling other people out of there.
Right.
Yeah, Nick Stoss is a hero. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah. Cool story.
So I run into day 2. I run into Bugsy, and Bugsy has something on his hip that I was very interested in. It was actually planned. I had planned to pick this up, so I got to experience Bugsy's. However, Steve didn't bring a batch of knives to sell. Steve Clarey came to Bladeshow this year just like everybody else did. He came as a visitor to visit Bladeshow, and I got lucky. He had this on his hip, and the main reason I wanted this is because I may never be able to afford Alex Steingraber knife. This knife was made by Alex Steingraber. The final grind done by Steve Clarey. It's 67 HRC K390, so it will cut glass, and is the absolute. The reason I wanted this is to remind myself of what I want my grinds to be, because there's no edge on it, and I've already bled in Bladeshow floor from accidentally touching it.
Yeah, it is wicked sharp, man.
This is something that I'm not capable of yet, so it's something that I'm hoping to achieve someday. So I did get a K390 tried and true, and it means the world to me because regardless of what you guys think of those people, I don't care. That's your right to have an opinion. Both of these dudes were pivotal and went above and beyond to teach me how to heat treat to a point that I never had to make a mistake. I never had to fuck anything up. Like, the first day I turned the oven on, I'm on the phone with Alex telling him I'm scared. And he walked me through it. And Kyle remembers how excited I was when I called him after leaving the machine shop where the HRC tester was and nailed it. So super excited about that.
What up, Zachary?
And then after much chasing, I tried to find and hook up with Justin from OCD for EDC all weekend. Last minute, about ready to go home, I finally got to meet up with him, and I got my Rex 121 Sage 5 lightweight. It's going to have to rock these scales for a little while because it will have Casey Lynch scales on it, especially after what he did for me. Stevie walked me over there. I got to show Casey my knife. He was very supportive. Just a super cool guy. And I don't have it on me. I'm sorry, guys. I should have prepared better. But some of you have seen that Javon put some AWT scales on my Shaman, which changed it for the better for me. And I asked him if he had the wire clip replacement. And he said, absolutely, I do. And I was like, well, I really want one, but I want you to install it, which took him 15 seconds. So he takes my wire clip off, hands it to me, puts my Lynch Northwest clip on, hands it back to me. And I said, cool, man, how much I owe you? And he's like, you don't owe me anything. And I was like, I actually didn't mean to, but I kind of raised my voice just a little bit. And I was like, oh, Casey, I'm paying for this clip.
Yeah.
And he immediately was like, this is my booth. I run this thing.
Right.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
So I shut my mouth and took my free, not just my free clip, but it means the world to me that Casey put it on.
Yeah. That was cool. That was cool to watch, man.
Yeah. And just y'all know the highlight of my Bladeshow, because we did get separated. I told you it's not possible to follow your buddies the entire time. We got separated. And so when I would lose track of Ryan and Javon, I just went to tables and I looked for stuff that just, I was looking for makers that just blew my mind with their refinement. And I would start talking to them. And I was a little nervous, but at some point in the conversation, I let them know, I was like, hey man, I've been grinding for like 11 months. Will you please, roast my knife? No filter, no holding back, and I'd hand it to them. And I was absolutely mind blown at how cool and nice everybody was. In all honesty, I told Stevie this: the harshest critic I had, which means the world to me, was David Kim.
Yeah.
Like, David tore my knife to pieces in a very respectful, helpful way, and he was right about everything.
For those of you that don't know, Orion Knives and
Yeah.
QSP rep, that's David Kim.
And for all you guys who think I hate Chinese people, David Kim's one of my favorite people in the world. So to get my knife critiqued by a Chinese knife maker, it was literally the most important critique I was looking for. And that's actually the reason, because I think Javon, he didn't quite understand it first. He was like, dude, we got to get it out. We got to show it. We got to show it more. And I was like, no. And that was because of David. And like I said, and I don't regret that. I would much rather have had that change in mindset and that change in motivation than I had whatever money I could have collected.
Yeah.
So I decided.
But he would tell you what was wrong with it, but then he would tell you how to fix it.
Right.
So I mean, it was
Right.
really, it was.
And at the same time,
done with very good taste.
Right. At the same time, told me how impressive it was that I was at that point. You know,
Yeah.
that he's having to nitpick things that, yeah. I got my knife. I don't know how many of you guys know them, but Peter at Dark Timber Customs, who has the hottest wife on the planet, on Naked and Afraid 9 times, finished at 7. I got to put my knife in his hands. He was the first guy to call me a liar, that I'd only been doing it that amount of time. And he showed me a couple small things. And when he pointed out, you know, these small mistakes, he spent time explaining to me how to avoid them, how to fix them. Totally didn't expect that. If you don't know Dark Timber Customs, guys, you'd have to have an early bird pass to understand, because it's the only way to experience it. When the early bird people get in, it sounds like a fucking party. And you start looking around, figuring out where it's coming from. It's coming from Dark Timber Customs.
Right.
And they literally sell, dude, I would love to know. I bet it's $250,000 in 15 minutes.
Hell yeah, Brian.
Gone. So that was really cool. Had a
What's
really
his
cool
name?
conversation with Andy from Fiddleback Forge. Not going to go into the details of that conversation, but Andy let me know that he's across Georgia. He does training classes. They're typically 2 days and $1,500. Said he has makers that have been making a year to 5 years that have to come in for a 2-day class. And he told me I needed a half a day. That felt pretty fucking good, man. Because you need a half a day to be where I'm at after 20-something years of making. You guys go ahead.
No, I see Brian F's in here. Brian F, Mitten State EDC, is responsible for shaping these scales and liners on my thug. And I'm not going to bother turning off the lights today, but I had this, although this sheath sucks, I was outside.
She sucks.
I was messing with it the whole time we were outside. And I came inside to take a leak, and the house is a little dark. Dude, these freaking things glow like crazy just from being out in the light.
Stevie,
that sheet is so bad, and I was running out of rivets, that I honestly considered just super gluing the edge together, because I didn't want to waste rivets on it. It was that bad. But I was out of time, and I knew it would be thrown in the garbage in a couple of days anyway. I just wanted something where Stevie put it in his bag and it not cut his bag.
Cole,
and another thing, Brian, had Brian F, had we had time and Brian F had hands on the knives I took and didn't sell, that wouldn't have been the situation. I would have been much prouder to show them.
Cole, I was reserving them for today, and they sold out of everything yesterday and didn't even show up today.
Super cool dude, though. I went by, there was about 4 booths that I went by and genuinely thanked. I was like, man, I want to genuinely thank you for making man-child shit. This is what makes the knife/tool/weapon community awesome, is that people still make man-child shit.
Right.
Those hate sticks were, and I was like, dude, that's the best name in the EDC community. Hate stick is by far the best name
Yeah.
in the community.
What is that? I haven't seen those.
They're just clubs, dude. They're just really cool,
Yeah.
artisanal skull crackers, and they're awesome.
Steve, what I was going to say earlier is I told Shane this when I shipped them back, but your scales are probably my favorite to date on the Thug.
Man, shout out to Chromatic EDC, one, for making the material, but seriously, shout out to Brian F., who gave them the justice and, picked out the right part to actually use for the scale material, and the way he did the hardware and the liners and everything. It's, totally makes this knife, man.
Roman, this isn't a shark. This is a Steve Flory tried and true.
Oh, right.
This was the first batch that was, everything was done by Alex Steingraber except the final grind. And you ask who sharpened it. I don't know that it's been sharpened. I don't know that there's an edge on that, like a secondary edge. But I just wanted to answer Roman's question.
So, are we going to chug some Yoo-Hoo?
I've got Yoo-Hoo available on hand.
Shane, I forgot to stop and get that down.
I will tell
I'll
you.
send my daughter after it when I got home.
I will tell you. I am spent, but the people are begging for the Yoo-Hoo.
I've got a cup, so my plan is to keep pouring boxes into it till it's full, and we just get the same number of boxes in one cup. That's my plan at the moment.
Well, hang tight 1 second. I'm going to be present for this.
All right. Oh, it's going to take a minute anyway. I mean, I've got enough. We can do the one suck as well. I mean,
You know what?
That's what it turned into, so I don't care.
I think, you know what? This might be an unpopular thing. Why don't we save the one suck and try to organize it as a challenge on one of our lives, and we can have more people participate?
That's fine with me. I would love to have people.
Y'all don't want me in this.
Oh, don't start talking shit, Ron.
Nobody wins but me when I'm in this.
Okay, Ed Harrison.
That's funny. Ryan's out. Oh, me.
All right, here I go with my first one.
All right, I'm opening my first one. That's well.
All right.
Let's see how many we can get in each cup. So we're going to do the chug challenge tonight because that's what this started out as.
Yes, that's absolutely what it started out as.
Was who could chug usually the fastest.
I got one full one down. I think I can fit a second one in here.
I think I'm going to be 2, possibly 3. But I'm not.
All right, well, don't go past 2 quite yet.
I'm not. Going with the second one.
Dude,
this shit's like diarrhea.
If this was audio only, this would be horrible ASMR.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll say this. I did practice the one suck on a Capri Sun. You guys were here for it. Oh, that's not it. Never mind. But I've not practiced chugging. I haven't chugged since I was in a bar many, many years ago.
Maddie, they were pre-shook.
Yeah, they're pre-shook. So as you can see, the glass, mine's right here. So you're full. Okay.
Yeah. So this ends up being 13 ounces.
Right. So I say we put them to our lips and we let Kyle say go, and we see who empties the glass the fastest.
And when you're done, turn the glass upside down so we know.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Ready, Stevie?
Let's do a
I'll count it down.
Let's go 3, 2, 1. Don't go yet, Shane. Let's do 3, 2, 1, go, and then we chug.
Okay. Go, we chug.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Are you done? Did he beat me?
Well,
Really?
I'd say a quarter of it's on his shirt.
I was going to
I'd say a
say,
quarter of it's on my shirt.
yeah, most of it is those beard in his shirt.
So what does that mean?
Well, I don't think enough of it went on his shirt for it to have mattered. I mean, it was
How
pretty
badly
quick.
did he beat me? Because I looked up and he was staring at the camera.
It was pretty quick.
Yeah, I will admit, when the consistency hit the back of my throat, it slowed me down a bit. I wasn't prepared for that. Redo. I'm gonna bow because here's another thing, guys. I didn't take my diabetes medicine all weekend.
Oh, didn't take his sugar pills.
Right, and
Well, baby's worried about getting
and
the
I
sugar
think
pills.
I think in a my high state, I ate at least 4 packs of cinnamon sugar donuts. Already had 2 of the large glass bottles of Yoo-Hoos at the hotel. Yeah, so I'm gonna
I will say,
I would rather it end here and let Todd Carr forever continue the controversy that Stevie got half of it on his shirt.
I will say, I did. I mean, it's not even. I would say maybe a quarter ounce in all actuality, but
Yeah, I mean, you finished so fast, it's not enough to where it would have made a difference.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Because when I turned to look,
it was
he
a
didn't
second
even
and
have
a half at
glasses in
least.
hand. So, but this shirt, the fact that this shirt exists, makes the whole thing worth it.
My wife does not think so.
So to be continued with one suck.
Yeah.
And
'cause, I mean, we could have.
Technically, that wasn't a suck.
okay, all right.
No,
How about this? How about
That's
this?
actually the one I thought I was a shoe-in for. So,
How about this? How about over an undisclosed amount of time, we'll figure it out. We do 2 out of 3.
okay. I'm down to do it again. I just don't need to do it again right now.
Oh, dude, no, I can't do that right now. But
chugging Yoo-Hoo and chugging beer is not the same.
No.
When it hits the back of your throat, I started to kind of gag just a little bit.
Technically, they both suck.
Well, Cole, if you think you're a contender, there's a champ right there who needs to win. So
we will figure out how to do. We'll get as many people as we can up here. Y'all let us know who wants to get on the one suck challenge, and we will do a true one suck. And throughout the next however many live streams, we'll do a chug off again. We'll do it 3 times.
I knew I was in trouble when as soon as it hit and I gulped the first time. When I used to do beer, I didn't have to gulp.
Yeah.
So I knew I was in trouble when I had to gulp. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you never gulped when you were on beer.
No.
You know what this outcome
I just poured it down my throat. That didn't work that way. Like my body immediately.
This outcome just gave Eli a lot more confidence.
I'm sure it did.
Brian, it did not live up to the hype. I will admit that. But
we had already discussed this though, guys. The shit talk leading up to it was always going to be way bigger. The concept was way bigger than the actual thing. And we knew we were never going to meet expectations.
We were never going to live. We built it up so high. It was never going to be as good as we conceptualized it.
And there was parts that you guys weren't even privy to, like the personal back and forth between Steve and I was so much fun. It was, yeah.
Speaking of shit talking, did anyone determine who was harder, Shane or Sharif?
I still think I'm harder than Sharif, but I mean, who knows, man? Sharif might whip my ass. It's hard to say. But I don't judge Sharif by his hardness anymore. I have a entirely new respect, bigger respect and bigger love for Sharif than I've ever have. I would have traded every positive thing that happened to me this weekend to get to experience Sharif's Bladeshow. I really would have, dude. Like, it was. I mean, I don't think he could have wrote it any better. You know, and when I heard he was going to the awards show, I was instantly mad because I know those awards are bought and paid for, and I know what won, and they don't hold a fucking candle to what Sharif created.
I didn't hear the outcomes. What was the
Vero
mad.
won for their budget.
Yeah.
QSP Cross Barlock Penguin won.
what the fuck?
I think Bradford might have won something. I didn't see all the results.
So people with advertising budgets.
The fact that Bradford won over this is fucking stupid. And now this is the worst part. Sharif may have to correct me. Gosh, Sharif, the one that really pissed me off, there was somebody else that won one you were nominated for. Oh, the fucking work sharp knife.
That was the innovative design.
Right.
That thing's a piece of shit.
Right. And everybody that I talked to that handled it said it was fucking garbage.
Fuck you, Ryan. Fuck you, Arshear.
I'm not trying to hurt Work Sharp because they've been kind to me in the past. I didn't touch the knife, but all the feedback I got was that it wasn't great.
But you know what? And again, these are Sharif's stories to tell. He learned a lot being in his first Blade show, and he got to see how the game is played.
Right.
And knowing that now, future Blade shows, I say this is the year that Blade Show got introduced to Sharif Manganis. I think future Blade shows will definitely he's destined to make an impact. I mean,
he's definitely about to be a contender on that stage for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, there's stories we're not going to share because they're not ours.
Right.
But nothing's chiseled in stone. But for Sharif and myself, like, we had opportunities presented to us and possibilities put on the table that you guys, I'm telling you, if we told you now, you wouldn't believe them. Like,
right.
Some of it is literally unbelievable. And I know, well, it's the same for Sharif. The ball's in my court. If I fuck this up, it's 100% my fault. I've got a video chat to do tomorrow.
But also, and we all talked to Sharif about this a little bit too. Don't feel like you have to get all this accomplished immediately. Like, It's a ton of pressure on you guys. I know don't want to try to come out, but slow and steady wins the race, man. And, I would much rather see you two guys especially be tactical about your approach than just dive right in. Truly actually learn from all the shit that you guys got. And,
that's already on my bulletin points to talk about.
Yeah, I'm sure Kyle's over there jotting down, what do I have to tell Shane later?
One Moon was definitely well represented at Blade Show. I think Iggy wore One Moon shirts every day of the show.
Yeah.
Loot had on some One Moon. Ernie Bless was wearing some One Moon. So shout out
the day at the show. No, I think I wore my One Moon. I went to the Kaiser dinner, but I spent a day in my One Moon shirt.
We sported our Cheeto shirt together at the Kaiser dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And that wasn't planned. We both just showed up in our Cheeto shirts. Yeah.
Yep.
The Kaiser dinner has kind of become fun now because I am kind of the brunt of the joke there, and I don't mind. Everybody's looking at me like, "What the fuck is he doing here?" And everybody wants to get a picture of me with some Kaiser shit. It's all fun, man. And they are, it's cool of them if they do that, and they don't.
Hey, no one else is doing it. The investments that they're doing to actually give back to the community that supports them.
Yep.
And let's not forget, Kaiser does give some really cool opportunities to, some designers. So, say everything that you guys want that wants to be said about Kaiser. Yeah, it's true. they're also cool for what they do, man.
I'll say this:
Hold on.
if you're gonna buy a Kaiser, though, please consider a Kaiser that was designed by somebody who puts in work to entertain you guys every week.
Maddie, Loot, amongst others. Speaking of the Kaiser dinner, I want to say the funniest thing I saw there was Ian Coates was, as soon as they started putting food out, Ian was the very first one in line and had his plate just ready to go. It was like waiting for him to, put it down. Ian goes through the line first and gets a comically huge plate of food.
It's literally 8 inches high.
No, it
Goes
was
and
piled
sits
up.
down. The line starts piling up. Ian still manages to get in line before half of the other people. Goes through the line a second time before people had even eaten once. Not that they were going to run out of food by any means.
No.
But then Ian got a comically second larger plate of food, man.
The second plate, I think, was bigger than the first.
Yeah.
It was huge.
And I'm not joking. It was like comically, like it was food stacked on a plate like this freaking high, man.
Yeah.
Kyle, you want to hear something funny? Ryan, seems logical, was really excited to experience my knife. I appreciated that. So I handed it to him, and he was very kind, talking about it. And he turns to Ian and says, "You want to check it out?" And Ian's like, "No, thanks." I would have rather that happen than him take it and gawk over it. You know what I mean? The fact that he was like, "No, thanks." Yeah, that was funny.
I would say that's principles, but
yeah. It was funny. For those of you who don't know, the fact that Hey Man put in all those miles and made everybody's experience that much more positive. He did this with an elbow that's in like 5,000 fragments.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Watching him flick a knife, he showed us the x-rays. His elbow was literally tiny pieces floating around in his flesh. So I'm assuming they've rebuilt it all, but yeah, he was in rough shape and never stopped smiling.
No, dude.
Went out his way. Yeah. Sometimes you can enter into somebody's experience, and even if you don't make it a negative one, you can at least kind of hinder. You know what I mean? Right. But it's never that way with Hey Man. It's always like he's always like, "Man, I'll go with you. So you got somebody to talk to on your way." And he's just super supportive.
Hey Man, so Sharif didn't make it to the Kaiser dinner because the way the parking situation was, trying to get out of Bladeshow. For him to have made it over to the dinner, then have to turn around and go back to the awards deal, it just wasn't feasible. Before the Kaiser dinner even wrapped up, Hey Man's like, "Hey, I'm gonna head back over so Sharif's got someone to chill with,
right.
As a homie to chill with," and surprise Sharif and, chilled with Sharif. So Sharif literally had someone to sit and chill with the entire time.
I thought he had a 15-year-old to chill with the whole time.
Don't say that.
Careful. That just sounded horrible.
Yeah, that sounded wrong. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Freddie Urban Woodsman.
Yeah.
So technically, Hey Man's elbow is like the intergalactic fake space that Marty believes in.
Dude,
that's what the X-ray looked like. It looked like the Milky Way.
Yeah.
Like nothing connects. Everything's just little pieces.
It's gnarly, dude. It's gnarly.
Yeah,
Send Freddie.
And Maddie, dude, me and John, we were high, but when Maddie was agging that on the other night, Stevie, dude, we literally were fucking short of breath laughing at what Maddie was doing to you. That was classic Mattisfaction, dude. It was so good.
Yeah.
Hats off, Maddie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
He is a sweet kid, man.
Shane, were you HIGHLY?
Yeah, HIGNHLY.
Or something like that, yeah.
Paul, you didn't have a choice.
I didn't have to look at anything.
You didn't have a choice. Fred and Hayden just shoved. Hey, here's our collection. Yeah. I'll just say it. I was like, Fred, I don't give a fuck about your knives, dude. I was like, I've been looking at knives all day long. And then Hayden comes over. He's like, I don't think you've looked through the knives yet. And I was like, Hayden, like I said to your dad, dude, I don't give a fuck about your knives right now, dude.
They were nice.
I got Steve Clare.
Yeah. That's I said that to Fred the first time. I was like, he might not be right here right now, but I got a Steve Clare. So, but
I'm all too familiar with the lack of choice in the matter. I feel like we should start a support group. Like I now feel closer to Paul Mott for sharing an experience. Although mine was less intrusive than his, but
but no. All in all,
I get it. There's no hate. I get it.
No. But yeah, all in all, I think this year was, if someone said, "Hey, how does this compare to Blade shows in the past?" It's on par, man. I mean, they're all good. There were some people,
while at the same time different.
Yes, I'll say the two most questions people asked me, and I got this everywhere I went. The first one was, "Where's Maddie?" And then the second one was, "Where's Snuzz Nuzz?"
Was the third, "Are you Gandalf?"
The one person who's always had a large channel and is back on the growth spurt, though, that I can say has not changed at all. That was Alex Garland. I got to meet Alex Garland again and spend some time talking to him. But the issue with Alex is it always turns super awkward, like when it's over.
Yeah.
You don't he don't know what to say, and you don't know what to say. It's almost like you just turn and walk away. Like he doesn't know how to end a conversation, and you don't know how to end a conversation with him. But still, a super nice dude.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Oh, I had my one awkward moment. Was oh man, I won't get into this right now. Me and Scooter and Forrest had an awesome conversation with Mark from Spartan today. He was like, "Hey, I don't mean to be eavesdropping on your conversation." We had no clue he was standing there, and it kind of. I'll go into the story more later, but shout out to Mark from Spartan, super awesome dude. But yesterday I was out in the smoking area, and I was like, "Oh my god, Aries EDC's here." I'm like, "Hey, what up?" To him? I was like, "Hey, what's up, man? I had no clue you were coming here, dude." I was like, I thought you weren't going," and he was like, "I don't think you know who I am." I'm like, "Yeah, Aries." I was like, "Stevie," and then I looked down and I have no clue who this dude was, and I was like, "Ah, man, you're a dead ringer for Aries," and he's like, "All right, well, tell him I said hi."
I did that in Las Vegas. I ran up to Anderson Silva to get his autograph.
Yeah.
Thank him for it. And then as I'm walking off, I realized it was Chet Congo. And I know if you know anything about MMA and you picture those guys, you're like, how? But I'm telling you.
Right.
Street clothes, glasses. He's not near as big as you think. I would have sworn it was Anderson Silva. But anyway.
No patina, but we all agree.
You could have thrown a baby close to it. Like, if you grabbed it by both feet and fucking hurled it like this, you wouldn't have cleared the fanboy crowd with even a 8-pound baby.
I do have a Neve story I'll tell later, but
why are we throwing babies?
But
Patina asked if Neve signed to get babies.
We all agree. Still, the funniest thing to go down at Blade Show was Vince from 2 years ago getting the Neve super fan. "Hey, buddy." God. That still goes down as at least for me, my greatest moment of Blade Show of all time.
Oh yeah,
that'll live on in infamy.
Yeah, that is a classic that will never be topped.
I wanted to add on to that, Stevie. Shout out to Mark for putting Sharif's Nana on a knife.
Yeah. Yes. Mark put Laser and Sharif's Nana on a Harsey folder.
Okay, Paul, I didn't. I don't know about Stevie. Nice. I don't know about Stevie, but for some reason I didn't have gas on command this year. I was only able to crop dust Savivi, and I got like 2 steps and 2 poots and 2 poots. I was a lightweight this year when it comes to the crop dust. Did you crop dust anybody?
I didn't actually post this yet, we'll see. But some of you might have saw it. This is what
I saw it.
I'll probably end on. But this is where am I at here? I'll pull this up. This was my Bladeshow blast. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Is this what I think it is?
It might be.
I hope.
Nothing beats the pirate ship, though.
No, I can't top that. But here is a little
Turning
preview.
the tires. Damn it, Tater.
There's all turban boobsman. But I got let's see here. Where'd it go? Where did it go? All right, here we go. All right, here we go, fellas. For those of you that might not have seen this, should Urban get the blast of Bladeshow? I mean, he's right there.
Danger. Evacuate.
What happened, Urban?
I don't know.
Urban just got blasted. Urban just got blasted right in the face.
That was great.
Your smile at the end. That's perfect.
Urban got the blast.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Didn't even stand
I
up.
got a story I haven't told yet either, Stevie. Every time I went to the bathroom in our hotel room, I was like, this is a really nice hotel. It's infested with ants. Like the toilet was full of dead ants every time I went in there. I was like, why are they getting in the toilet and drowning? And then I found out later that it's Javon emptying his vape. It was just little squiggly pieces of weed float. And like every time I went in there was a layer of them on top of the toilet. I genuinely thought it was ants dead in the toilet water, but
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you didn't take your glasses with you.
no, I did not.
No, he did not.
Oh, one other super cool thing that doesn't apply to the community that I was really impressed with, man. The handmade custom knives is not going anywhere. It's not gonna die. I met so many teenage children
Oh my gosh, there was a lot of them there.
who had
You did what now?
incredible layouts in front of them and just perfect handmade knife. It was mind blowing. And these kids are 16, 17 years old. You find out they've been making knives since they were 12, 13. I'm talking about White River, Bradford level perfection in handmade knives. So that's super important in any community. If you don't have young people to replace us old farts, it's going to die at some point in time. So it was really cool meeting those kids, man, and how excited they were. I almost hate going up to tables like that, though, if you know you don't have the money to buy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad taking up their time, but at that age, they're just excited to show their stuff off.
Yep. Yeah. But hey, fellers, I'm gonna hop off here. I'm gonna go. My beard smells like yoo-hoo. I also got a fucking stomach ache from that.
Yeah,
that does not sit well with me. I think it's going to come out the same way it went in. Yeah. So I'm about to hop off. So it was a pleasure hanging with you mofos this weekend. Everybody in the chat, we'll see you soon. And I'll talk to you mofos later.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Easy.
Stranger danger. But yeah, we're only going to go about another 20 minutes if we make it that far. I was going to limit this to I took a little nap, but I still need. I
have not taken a nap. I've been working since I've been home. So
yeah. We haven't talked about Ryan almost killing us in Huntsville. That almost happened. We had as close to a T-bone traffic accident, and Ryan didn't get to see it because when Javon screams and Ryan looks left. He stood that fucking Duramax 3500 on its nose. He never got to see the fact that my knees were in the glove box and my head was up between the windshield and the like he slung 270 pounds up into the crevice between the windshield and the dash. Luckily, nobody saw it because they were looking at the little old lady that almost killed us.
It was cussing me, actively
So
cussing.
she went, and Ryan rolled his window down. He's like, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, I didn't see." None of us. I don't know how Javon saw her because we were.
I don't know how he saw it from the back seat. I didn't see it. You didn't see it.
He can't see over the door panel. I don't know how he saw it, but I looked left too and didn't see her. And I mean, dude, when we stopped, yeah, it was.
Yeah, exactly, Javon.
I put my seat on after that. That was a very good lesson.
I try to have conversation with him when he's driving, and I just hear beep, beep, beep the whole entire time because he doesn't.
You're a psychopath if you can listen to that.
Yeah, it was very close. Very seatbelt tassel. That's funny. Oh.
But yeah,
there was definitely never a boring moment. But I will say, I won't be near as excited about the pit next year. It was just a different vibe. Like there was a lot of people who weren't there anyway, and then the people who were there, it was just a lot of people trying to get within 10 feet of their favorite YouTuber, and I had some good times, being there with Ryan and John, and I got to sit down and have a drink, cut up with Justin for a few minutes, but it just wasn't the connection wasn't there in the pit like it has been in the past. It's been slowly deteriorating over time anyway.
Turned into more of a meet and greet than camaraderie.
Yeah, you remember the pictures from years past, me and DeMarco and Jared and Stasa and Carla and there's none of that anymore.
I mean, hell, they used to do live streams, and there'd be 20 people in the live stream from the house and shit.
Yeah, that
those were fun.
That did not happen this year.
I know.
It was just a completely different vibe. But, that didn't take anything away from the time that we had. We definitely, guys, we had a good time at Bladeshow. We had a good time at Blaze Pizza. We had a good time at the Raceway. We literally, we had a good time walking Javon through the parking lot, looking at the purple lights. We had a good time with the legless homeless man sitting on the corner. We had a good time with everything we did. We never stopped laughing. It was a good time.
It was a lot of fun.
Did you finally get him a rented date from the hotel in front?
No, dude, that was so. We pulled up. So the GPS takes us to our hotel. We pull up into a same raceway parking lot, and there's the hotel. And Ryan instantly turns and says, "We are not fucking staying here." This was a weekly rate fentanyl dump.
It was bad. There was rooms that didn't have doors on them.
Yeah, and Javon's like, "All I need is a bed. I don't care." Javon was the only one with a gun, so I understand. I wasn't comfortable staying there, but luckily, our hotel there was a tree line. It was tucked back in the back, and it was very nice. So it was even nicer when those blacked out Suburbans would pull up and just park, and we could all just go out and get in, and they'd pull up to the front door of Bladeshow. Like the red carpet in Hollywood, and we would all pile out. It was pretty cool. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
John, I'm going to let you off the hook, dude. That light was purple. The one light bulb in that parking lot, for some reason, put off purple light. We had John convinced that his mushrooms were hitting a little too hard.
He turned around and looked at me. He said, "Hey, Ryan," he said, "is everything really purple or are these mushrooms still hitting?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Dang, these mushrooms are awesome."
And everybody that John met got informed that he was on mushrooms, including the waiters at restaurants, the people at Bladeshow. He couldn't have a conversation without apologizing and explaining that I'm only acting this way because I'm on mushrooms.
Look, I'm really sorry. I'm on mushrooms, but I've got a couple of questions for you.
Can I do an interview?
Yeah.
I'm glad Ryan got to experience the fact that Javon is 1,000% who you think he is.
I love it, man.
But he can also instantly turn it off and talk business and know what he's talking about. So that makes it even cooler. But
that's what makes you great, Javon, is that you're honest and transparent.
Yeah, he'll hide shit. We got to pull up to Javon's house. You know, the car's covered with a tarp, but I could see under there just enough to see the driver's door speaker. So that was cool. It was. And you know what? We didn't. Well, he's not on here, so I guess we'll leave that for Javon for his live stream to talk about what he got. Javon got some pretty cool pickups.
He did get some cool stuff, man. He got some cool footage.
Yeah, I took 3 pictures. I think.
You know,
one of them was of the knife I showed. So,
and one was of Ryan being 3 feet.
Yeah, one was Ryan being 3 feet tall. I don't even remember if I took. Oh, I did get a really pretty picture of downtown or the bougie area of Huntsville that nobody cares. But
I know my algorithm's messed up because I don't watch knife content anymore, but I haven't seen any coverage of it hardly.
It's your algorithm. It's there. I was actually watching some before I went live. But yeah, I was super proud of my Freeman, so I had to take a picture of it hanging on my hip. While at the same time, my rib cage and fat roll were bleeding because it's the least ergonomic thing you've ever worn in your life. Great in the hand, not so great on the hip bone or the rib cage. There's me and Justin having a drink at the way overpriced bar in the pit. But yeah. I still think everybody should experience it at least once in your life.
I think next year, I didn't realize how chaotic it was or what I guess an adrenaline rush I was on the first day until the second day when I was walking through there, and I couldn't remember seeing anything I was looking at the day before. Like I was running around so fast everywhere. I didn't even know what I was missing,
You do get kind of hypnotized and your eyes get blurry by the 478,399 handmade Bowie knives.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
On the tables in front of 80-year-old men, and they probably made them 20 years ago, still trying to sell them. Impressive. Don't get me wrong. Not shit talking. Super impressive, but there's just so fucking many of them, man.
Yeah.
You guys will be proud. I didn't even stop by the Spyderco booth. I just cruised right on by.
The sad thing is with Shane's numbers, that probably is accurate.
No, it's very accurate. Yeah.
No. I mean to the number.
Yeah.
It is.
There's so many, man.
Speaking of Spyderco, I had such high hopes and such letdown all in one announcement. Did you see that they're doing a collab with Bob T. Terzola? They're bringing out a collab with him doing one of his star mates.
Let me tell you what I would have paid $100 for a picture of this. But at the award show, at one point in time, you could have took a picture of Sharif Banganis sitting next to Bob Terzola, and they were both fucking asleep. I would have given anything that would be like, that should hang in Sharif's office for the rest of his life. Him and Bob T over both crashed out. Listen to them give awards to bullshit fucking knives, man. It was.
Well, the bad thing was they announced a knife, which is cool as shit. That'd be awesome to have a collab like that.
Yeah.
But then they're releasing it in 20 CV and just plain ass G10 liner lock.
Well, Bob's never been about fancy though.
I understand that, but he's done some of his other collabs with Fox and some other places. They've done nicer materials. I'm like, that would have been a perfect opportunity to do one in Thai and do it from Tai Chung.
Let me tell you this too. In case you guys, I don't know when it's going to be posted up. I don't know if it will pop up in anybody's algorithm. But if you see this little Chinese lady from a company called Spark, and you see that I've been reviewed by Ryan, and that I've been reviewed by myself and Justin from OCD for EDC, just know we were fucking tricked. We were tricked into that shit. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was super sweet. I'm not mad about it. But all it was a titanium frame lock M390 little chody pocket knife with a fidgety spinner thing on the side of it. But yeah, that we did not volunteer for that up front. She just so if you see
awesome.
it, just know.
they've had it before, but I'm just saying when they come out and go through it again, they're just like, make it better. Like that's so disappointing from them.
Yeah.
With the options that they have.
Well, how about this, Kyle? How about, at least they didn't release it in S30 and then make you wait a year to get something else.
Yeah, but it's also $337, Shane.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah, 20 CV G10 and it's $337.
Shane is now a viral link to the TikTok shop. Definitely a TikTok knife, no doubt about that. But the thing I do regret, and Kyle, you might be able to help me, I don't know. I didn't see the table, and I don't know if Ryan did. I really wanted to take Ryan to that table of the guy that makes like the most unergonomical folders you've ever seen. He's got the ones that looks like a fucking axe blade when you open it. You know what I mean? He just makes this extreme
Rich made.
Yeah, I really wish I could have taken Ryan to Rich.
They were there because I saw Instagram pictures of someone there.
I didn't see. I didn't see. I might have saw a fifth of what was there. Like you think, well, how can that happen, man? But like you decide, well, I'm going to walk all the way around the outer ring. I'm going to make a trip around the outer ring just to see what's against the wall. You never make it. Like you start that, and then you're headed east, and somebody that knows you says your name that's headed, they're west, and you turn around and you talk, and then you don't even remember which direction you were going in, and next thing you know, you've made a right. That's how it happened for me. Luckily, Ryan got some time by himself and decided, to walk the grid, and says, that he passed every table, but he didn't see everything.
I didn't.
Did you guys see any?
EMP EDC's booth was there. There was a piece of paper announcing it was EMP, and it was fucking empty.
Why?
I don't know. Nobody knows. They weren't there. Their product wasn't there. It was just I'm assuming that they paid, but yeah, no EMP. The only thing I can think, Javon on mushrooms, of course, started coming up with theories of why, and I was like, maybe they just put in an order and it didn't make it here, or maybe the tariffs slowed it up. But I will say this, regardless of your politics, I love you. I don't care what they are. But the amount of people who are gearing up to start American OEMing because of the tariffs is fucking mind-blowing. Like, knife making is coming back to the United States, guys. If this continues down the path that it's headed, knife making looks like it's making a return to the United States. Cheeto, Michael has not announced the Thug yet because he had a prototype for the Model 3 Auto.
It's really nice.
So he's got to work on that right now. I will say this, and I know you guys are going to think Shane's going to say nice things because it's ABW. And this might not be a positive thing for you guys. It does not hit like a Protect. It does not. It's a lot softer. It's just the right amount of spring. It opens quickly. It locks up. There's no recoil. It doesn't jerk in your hand. So I loved it.
It was
if you're those people that like to feel that fucking like your wrist has to tweak when it opens, that's not the knife for you. But it was nice. So, and like I said, the whole Thug folder, we've no idea on the timeline because Michael just got the new machine. He doesn't know. I mean, he doesn't have an idea yet of how it's going to speed things up. But right now, he's got to concern himself with the Model 3 Auto. So it's going to be a while, guys. Yeah.
What I was going to ask was, did you guys see any tables with crazy priced auctions? And
oh my gosh, yeah.
What'd you see?
I don't know what Koenig. It ended at, but when I got to the table to get my Koenig, it was already at 15,000.
Yeah.
There was another one I saw that was at 26,000, but I cannot remember what it was.
Yes, Tina.
I wonder what the Damascus McNeese Dixon went for.
I don't even ask about those knives because I know I can't afford them. I don't even ask. Oh, no idea.
It was a good looking knife, though.
Ron Crow, I'm glad you mentioned that, buddy. I don't know how much you were around for that, but I 40 sleepless hours, and it still wasn't enough time. If you were in here earlier, you heard that I actually didn't show my knives off and try to sell them as much as I wanted to, because I wasn't content with how they turned out. I just didn't get a chance to go ship, but I will. But I promise. I apologize that it's taken me a little longer than I said, but I was running out of time, tried to bust ass. I had a plan. Me and Kyle talked about it. I actually did inspect those knives very thoroughly. The problem was it wasn't something I missed in inspection. It was something that I saw in other people's work and realized that I had not set my bar high enough. And so I adjusted that bar, and I just showed everybody one knife and got their knife, a knife that I knew there was issues on, and got their opinions on it. So, but yeah, so no, I have not shipped yet. I did get your message. The internet while you're there, Wi-Fi, whatever, you can't even make a phone. I think, was it you that called me, Kyle, or text me? No, it was Javon and Ryan both called me looking for me, and I got notified like 45 minutes later.
Well, I texted you back, and you never got it. It never went through.
Yeah, it never did.
That happens whether you're at Bladeshow or not, though, buddy.
Yeah, especially when you've got the cricket like I do.
The jitterbug.
Yeah, jitterbug with a busted ass screen. And
Speaking of shipping, Shane, I got a ride tomorrow. I'm gonna get those out.
I appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate it.
So they'll
Just
be
so
there.
you know, Todd, you can start getting anxious now. But we are scheming a trip to Ohio.
We coming for you, bro.
We don't care if we drive up there, have a cup of coffee, and come home. We are scheming a trip to Ohio. And since Patina lives there now, that'll be double cool. We can meet Patina while we're there.
I'm just telling you, if you show up to the door without notification,
Oh, there would be notification. We're not going to do that. Yeah. I got an idea about media booths at Blade for Rent. I don't know if that's a thing, Patina, because my buddy Justin Sunstrick that does the Meet in the Mayhem podcast was actually going to rent a booth and then allow some American makers, like, bring your knives by. They're going to sit here for 4 hours. You come get them. Then another American maker is going to set his knives out, and they wouldn't allow it. Yeah.
Why would they not allow that?
I guess because some other people are going to say, well, that guy got to have his knives laying out and didn't have to spend a minimum of $700. So I don't know, man.
stupid.
Yeah, and that's what Justin said. He's like, man, there was a lot of politics in that. And for those of you wondering, because there was some rumors spreading around that Super Still Steve was kicked out of Bladeshow, that is not the truth. Didn't happen at all. The issue was that Steve never had a table. Somebody else had a table that they weren't using. And as long as you pay, it's still yours. And that person allowed Steve to use his table. Of course, Steve paid him back. But that person picked a side, and it was the opposite side. So Steve did lose his table. He, however, did a drop on Friday of 90-something of the knives that I just showed you. And I think Saturday there were 15 left, and his phone was still dinging with notifications. So it didn't matter. He did just fine. And like I said,
I didn't know anything about this.
regardless of what you think of him, I'm not arguing that. But yeah, he was not banned from Bladeshow. He did lose his table because the table belonged to a friend of Whitty. So,
Ron, I'm in the Southwest, so East Lake's like 4 hours from me.
yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of interesting stuff, man. And there was probably 10 new Chinese knife marketing companies that you've never heard of that were there. So, half those people were at a different Chinese marketing booth last year. But if you're excited about that I'm sure all that's coming. But it was really good. And I'm not trying to downplay Cole's knife, but for it being his first design, I was shocked at the hype and the attention that the Gideon got. Like that's not normal. Cole, if you're still here, that's not normal, dude. That knife should have flew under the radar and maybe sold a few and hopefully got you enough success to move on to the next one. But it went way beyond that. I don't know what that
They
means.
sold out of them.
Yeah, I don't know what that means and how that translates, but way more buzz. I'm not saying it's way more buzz than you should have gotten, but it's way more buzz than most people in your situation get. I'll say that. And there was something else I was going to say.
I almost got my arm cut off at Squid Industries.
Yeah.
By Valley Boy.
Luckily, he got the
I
handle.
got hit by the handle of it, swinging it around like it was nunchucks.
Did you give that kid a good tongue lashing?
No, I just left the room. I couldn't talk.
Well, it's better than, I guess, cutting in front of you.
Yeah, that guy didn't, you guys don't understand. He didn't cut in front of Ryan. Ryan was standing 6 inches from the display case. That guy tucked his head under Ryan's arm, got his head between Ryan and the case, and shoved himself in between Ryan and the case. This all happened at Giant Mouse.
Yeah.
I think there probably would have been a fight had Ryan been more interested in what he was looking at. Luckily, I don't think he was super impressed. So, yeah, dude was mad.
It was a principal that pissed me. The principal pissed me off. Like, you mother.
Patina, I'm going to be honest, buddy. I got so into having people I respect give me opinions on my knife that I'm not the one to ask. I didn't concentrate enough on what I was looking at, other than those kids' knives. Dude, I may still have their cards. I don't remember the names of their companies, but that was by far the most impressive thing to me. And they were kind of basic. Most of them were basic drop points. But Ryan, do you remember the guy we stopped at that had the chef's knife that when you put it on the stand, the handle lights up with the LEDs?
Yeah.
And you take it off. You pick it up and the lights come out.
Yeah, it was really neat. I don't remember who it was though.
Him and his wife are both super, super nice people too.
Yeah.
But like, it had a stand, and when you set the knife on the stand, due to magnetic whatever, the handle lit up. It was like a black handle, but it had LED lights in it that lit the spine part of the handle up. But when you picked it up, it wasn't like there were these awkward LED lights you could I don't know how to explain it. It was very good design. I'll just say that.
It was neat for sure.
The
Louis,
right.
I'll be honest. I will probably Ryan laughed at me about this. I bought this knife to look at when I'm working and remind myself of what I'm shooting for. I will probably never carry this knife again because I can't put it in the sheath without making myself bleed. And that's not a knock on the sheath. I unless I hold it like this, there's a really good chance I'm going to need stitches. Like anytime I even get up close to the blade, I guess I don't pay enough attention and I end up bleeding. So this was, so to answer your question, Patina, this was it. And just purely because of the geometry and the fact that it's super hard K390. But, and I'm not saying that because it's Steve. I cussed him 3 times. I sent him a text message 3 times cursing him because I would just be walking around or standing there and realize I was dripping blood. Maybe I don't need a knife that sharp.
Ryan, you weren't there last year, but one of those Valley boys, they were doing their tricks or whatever, and apparently, I guess one got tossed in the air and tried to find it, and it landed in his back.
Yeah. This is the first year I didn't see the paramedics come in after a Valley boy. But we did get to experience some very interestingly dressed Valley boys.
Yeah, it was. I saw that several times.
Furries.
Yeah.
Furries.
Just
Guys
pajamas.
dressing up. There was a group of them that dressed up like Alice in Wonderland.
A group of boys.
Yeah.
This is with
Look
white
like
lace.
Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
Patina, this is the tried and true. And he just named it that because it's just, I mean, it's a tried and true design. It's a drop point blade. Profile doesn't look that much different than a SE4, but it's not a fucking SE4. I can tell you that right now. In good ways and bad. If you tried to do some prying that you could do with an SE4 with this, it'll fucking snap in half and probably the pieces will probably wedge into your forehead. So, aftermarket hits for Shane's knives. I don't know what that means, Five Door.
Hilts.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I've got plenty of knives. They're not for sale at the moment. They're going to get some more refinement. I've got a show to go to this weekend, and then when they come back, I'm not showing another knife with a poorly done Kydex sheath. So, Terry, gear up, son, because you don't think about that, but the sheath is the first impression. That's the first thing people see. And if the sheath is shitty, you've got to overcome that with the knife. And I don't feel like I was good enough to overcome how bad the sheaths were. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. All the sheaths weren't as bad as Stevie's. That was like, I'd forgotten that I was supposed to make a sheath for Stevie's knife. That was at the very end. It was cheap Amazon Kydex, not what I typically use. It shifted in the mold. That thing is worse garbage than he or I can explain. The knife, it doesn't even retain the knife.
Creme de la creme electrical tape.
Yeah, if you turned it upside down, it'd fall out. And so was Derek for real sheath, but he knew that ahead of time. But the Thug Triple XL was a bigger hit than I thought it would be.
Dude, that thing.
I don't know if I want to make any more, but I mean, I would. It's not. I don't feel like that design should be that big, but he was very happy with it.
The geometry on that was great.
Yeah.
That was a slicey SOB for being that big.
Well, I'm going that thick. I want to try to go that thickness on almost everything, unless somebody wants, a big brooding tough folder or tough fixed blade. But yeah, Javon, I did not learn the secret. That's the point. At that point, I was so exhausted and sleep deprived. I was under so much pressure that I just had to make something. So I didn't have time to learn anything and improve anything. Oh, you're talking about, he's talking about my conversation with a very good knife company. You're correct. Yeah. I know Kathleen, but like I said, I didn't go to, if I went to Bladeshow trying to sell 15 knives, I would have to depend on 15 people from the community being there who haven't bought one already. That makes no sense. That's not going to happen. So,
damn it, Cheeto.
Yeah, they're just going to have to be better before I present them to strangers. I saw that shit, Cheeto. And I do plan, now that Bladeshow's over, I am going to start. I haven't even tried yet, but I am going to start practicing the art of the swedge. So, just for you, just to shut you up. To tell y'all how tired I was, how exhausted I was, Derek for real sheath, I put one of the pieces of Kydex on upside down, and it's the show side. So now the show side has the really shiny part of the Kydex on the outside. It's fucking garbage. But anyway, there's still some. Okay, yeah, I know he sold. I say this, he sold enough at drop that it's okay if there's some left. So I put a swedge on my Scandi. Yucko, I saw your comment earlier. I wasn't completely sure of what all you were talking about, but we'll talk tomorrow. Yeah. It's weird, Louie. I want to give a shout out to somebody. Pop's Knife Supply does sell some inexpensive sheaths. They don't have sheaths that necessarily fit. I mean, you could put my knife in it, but it's not going to fit it just right. It's not perfect for it. But, I mean, Terry can make a custom fitted sheath to my knife for the same price, or close enough to the same price as what I'd buy it at Pop's for. But there was a kid that worked the counter at Pop's. Were you there, Ryan, when he was? Yeah, Ryan saw it. He used to work the counter at Pop's. And when Steve would make his knives, he would buy out all of Pop's inventory on their sheaths, and he didn't have enough. And that kid mentioned that he did a little leather work. So Steve was like, "Can you make sheaths identical to that for about the same money?" And he was like, "Yeah." So that guy was making Steve sheaths for a while. I don't think he'll ever make another Steve sheath. This dude went from this meek, meager, shy, awkward kid that worked at Pops and walked in Bladeshow this year with his fucking dick swinging and his chest blowed out. And in all honesty, he deserved it. I apologize. I know I have the card. I'll have to look. I mean, she started $100 now, but I don't know what this kid learned in a year and what he did, but he's a ultra premier leather sheath.
I just had his card. I'm trying to find it.
It's like JKL. I don't remember. I've got it here, but
yeah,
I'm gonna spend the time looking for it. I'll.
But you talk about
Derek. How would you know?
Crazy good work, man.
Here's a term you've never heard before. He said the difference in his cheese now is that he dialed in the heat treat.
Yeah, he's heat treating leather or drying it.
But he's putting it in a heat treat oven at a certain temp for a certain time, and
it's like Kydex.
It clicks like Kydex. It's as stiff on the retention as Kydex, but still has the grainy, beautiful texture of high-end leather, and still has that touch. It's pretty amazing stuff, man. But yeah, it's hard for me. Yeah, it was. I mean, I've seen a lot of nice cheese, and this guy's not putting anybody out of business because of the amount of time it takes him to make one. But very, very impressive work. I met him the day I went and spent time with Steve last year, and when I ran into him again this year, completely different human being, and deservedly so. Yeah.
Tina gets me hard forming.
Yeah, I get hard formed over Patina all the time. Well, Patina, that's why he did that. He had a lot of people that wanted him to do a hybrid with leather and Kydex, and he knows the same thing that I know, that Kydex is an absolute shit product, and he didn't want to do that. So he set out to make his all leather sheaths more than a hybrid ever could be, and he accomplished it. Like guys, I literally had knives that had good snap retention when I left the shop. They had good snap retention on our way to Bladeshow, and had no retention when we got there, and vice versa. I had knives that would fall out of the sheath if you turn it upside down, that 2 days later made a nice little snap and pop when you took it out. You don't realize you can lay your Kydex sheath. You can leave your Kydex sheath in your car, come out 2 hours later, and it's ruined. It's a garbage product. I get it. Some people like it. If you take care of it right, it does a job. But I don't. And I've got a buddy here that owns Holster X. It's just now become possible to buy a Holster X holster online, but he was the only contracted Kydex maker for the Glock and SIG police and military store. Super high-end cheese. I helped him for low holsters. I helped him some making them, all CNC. It's an impressive setup. But I asked him, because I was struggling with it. I was like, dude, what's your honest opinion about Kydex? He's like, it's fucking garbage. He's like, but it's the thing right now, so it's what I make. He's like, literally injection molded or 3D printed is way better than Kydex. So, and that's a guy that makes a living selling Kydex.
Yeah, but for that market, it is the better option than leather, because it needs to be retention.
Right, you can make a retentive sheath cheap.
Yeah, I'm not gonna run a leather rig.
Right. Yeah, I'm not trying to start an opinionated argument. I'm just telling you what a guy that makes a very good living off of it, his opinion of it. Yeah, guys, we're fixing to wrap it up. I said we were going to go 2 hours. I've got to get some sleep. I'm on for those of you who don't get bored to death to hear me talk about my struggles and the path I'm on and all that stuff. I'm on a pretty good run right now of laying my head down and falling asleep and getting up at a decent hour. I probably got more exercise this weekend than I've had in a long, long time. And I don't want to fuck it up. So I'm sleepy. So I'm going to go to bed and go to sleep. Because if I push it, I'll push through it and I'll be up all night. So, yeah. Louis, I honestly don't know. I know there's a difference. But the difference is when you're using other plastics to do the same things Kydex is doing, it's a more expensive process. So, Derek Frill just hit West Virginia. Good for you, buddy. Y'all be careful. But I'm out. I love y'all. Y'all going to have to put up with my toothless ass for a little while till I figure this situation out. Sorry. But you got anything, Kyle?
Nope.
You got anything else, Ryan?
I'm good,
Here, my guys. Ryan hit the Holy Trinity plus a McNeese, an Aurelia, a Freeman. Is that it?
Zon. Yeah, that's it.
Part of the Holy Trinity. Yeah. Dude had an awesome blade show. It was awesome getting to experience it. And for those of you who don't know, this would literally not have been possible at all for either myself or Javon if it weren't for Ryan. So mad shout out to that guy. He not only made Blade Show possible, he made it super fun. And like I said, we got a little taste of how the other side lives. And guys, I'm not talking shit. I'm not saying Ryan's fucking super wealthy or anything. He's just responsible and has made a good life for himself. And I thoroughly enjoyed getting to watch him enjoy it. So with that being said, I love y'all, man. I'll see y'all later.
Y'all have a good night.
Take care. I guess he's leaving.
Damn. Well, shit. What all did you do this weekend?
Absolutely nothing. Trying to rest my back. It's been jacked up still.
What's wrong with it?